Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us again. This is the explanation really of what's going to be going on through the new podcast in terms of how you can be a guest, where we're going to be recording it, and everything in between. So you can see there, it's going to be really key to get everyone together. We're trying to build this community in terms of being able to support local businesses in Northampton, Milton Keynes, Beds and Bucks. And so if you didn't see the first video, which was or the first live video, do check that out and click that live tab. Then they give you a little bit more of a background about myself and Jordan and a bit of my history in terms of my own personal podcast, which is Education on Fire. Just had 350 episodes go live today, which is amazing. And of course, Jordan from Say Something Video. So you'll know us either from there in terms of the networking events, or even indeed if you were at the Your Business Expo, we managed to see so many people and more at that event, and it was really from your positivity and your suggesting that actually we'd really like to be involved in this and be part of this, and see where it goes and how we can support you, which is the most important thing. Is the reason that we're really getting going forward with this, and making the sort of as big a difference as we can. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. That way, this channel here is really the kind of the build up, the building the community, giving us the opportunity to sort of keep you up to date with everything that's going. And also hit that notification, so when we are live, if you've missed any of the emails or anything like that, it gives you that opportunity to be able to know where we are and what we're doing. And in terms of that email list as well, if you do click on the QR code at the top there, that will take you through to the email sign up sheet. So, and that's where we're going to be releasing all the details of how you can be a guest and all of those things as they go through. So I'm absolutely delighted to say that the recording venue is going to be at the Cloud Space. And we're really grateful for Emily for allowing us to use this. It's a wonderful facility, and it's going to be such an incredible space to be able to do it, but also we just love to be able to support local businesses. And what Emily's doing there at the Cloud Space is amazing. You can see you've got your cafe, you've got classes for youngsters, you've got events and workshops. Emily is a fellow musician like myself, and you can see that they're really doing great work and do support them as well. As you can see, give them a little bit of a bit of support, and check out their website, find out exactly what they're doing there as well. And yeah, Emily, thank you so much indeed for everything that you're doing and supporting us to get this going. So the first thing we said, yes, there's the email list. You can use the QR code, as we said, just click on there. Or if you want to actually do it the other way, you can see there's the website, mark-taylor.aweb.page. That takes you through, because a short video from me and Jordan, but also then gives you the actual place where you can sign up and get on that list. I know many of you have done that already, so thank you so much for those of you that have already signed up. That's the place that we're going to be sending the details of how you can be a guest, in terms of all the final details, and also be able to book a slot. So, speaking of when we're actually doing the recording, the first two recording sessions are going to be Thursday on the 20th and 27th of July. And you can see that we're going to be there all afternoon between 2 and 7, and they're going to be 1 hour slots. So we're going to talk about trying to do our conversations for about 20-25 minutes, certainly under half an hour, and they're going to be in person, so we can have a proper sit down and chat about it. Jordan's going to be there taking all the video, all the audio, so it's going to have that kind of in-person feel. And what we're going to then do is we're going to use all of that, put it together, and then it will be on YouTube as a video podcast. And then we're going to take all the audio and put it on all the audio platforms, as you would normally expect, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, whether it's on Spotify, Amazon, everywhere else in between. So that'll be there as well. So however you like to consume your content, then that's the way it's going to be. If, of course, you are really keen on that kind of visual aspect and that YouTube thing, we're also going to be inviting you to provide us with some pictures or some short videos and that kind of thing, and then that way we can put that into the video as well, certainly as part of the intro, so people can get a sort of a behind the scenes, obviously look at you, but about your business as well. They can see sort of where that workspace is and how you sort of interact with everyone. So yeah, if that's something which you're keen on, that's going to be an added benefit from the visual side from the YouTube podcast, obviously, as opposed to just the audio, which hopefully will come across brilliantly as well for those people in cars, walking the dog, all of those kind of things. That's how I like to consume mine, because that's all about the conversation. And we're really looking for that ability to share your story, to share some insights that you've had, and also the one reason we've got this podcast going is the fact it's going to be the person-to-person element, really, this community building. We know that people like to buy from people. It's that know, like, and trust idea. So the idea being that you will know the people who have been guests before. You might want to reach out and do business with them. It might be that you learn something from that. It might be that you know you're going to see them at a networking event, or you're going to be catching up somewhere at an expo. That way you can go and see them and say, a little bit of information that you already know, and maybe a little bit of background that will give you that starter. So yeah, it's all really about that and how we can sort of bring all of those things together. So where's it going to be? As we said, it's going to be at the Cloud Space, and the Cloud Space is at the Depot Wiedenbeck in Northampton. So that's the venue that we're going to be recording certainly these first two at. And the idea is that, as you can see at the top of the screen now, I said it was going to be season 1. We're going to be producing it in seasons. So we're going to have a sort of a venue per season. So if you have a venue, or you have a place that you think would be a great place to have the podcast hosted at for season 2, because we're already thinking about what that's going to look like, we're aiming for kind of 10 episodes each of the seasons, and we're looking at this going live certainly by the beginning of October. So the first season is going to take us through all the way in towards Christmas. And what we don't want to do is have any kind of sort of hiatuses for too long. Obviously, maybe over the holiday period itself. But what we're going to do to support everything that's happening is we're going to also have some calls like this. And if you're watching live, you can then put something in the chat. I can bring that up onto the screen. We can be talking to each other as we're going through. We can have some people that have been guests who can actually help and support, maybe give a little bit further context if you have a question about them. So that sort of idea of coming together, a little bit of Q&A as we go through as well, will be really, really supportive. And then beyond the podcast itself, one of the things that we're really keen on is that ability to be able to kind of support you in other ways. So if you're going to be a guest and you have the opportunity to give a discount or a percentage or a giveaway or something like that, we're going to invite people to become members of the channel to be able to then small donation, which is obviously going to help fuel the podcast and be able to make sure that we can continue this for as long as we possibly can. And from that, you'll be able to get then discounts on some of the things that are going to be, as I said, mentioned by the guests, which is an amazing opportunity. There'll also be opportunity for sponsors and that kind of thing as well. But we'll get to that when we get sort of further down the track. There might also be the chance to have some private training from some of the companies that are there, either specifically for the guests, if they're a company that have the opportunity to provide extra value beyond the podcast. And it may be that you're a company that actually does certain training, maybe it was in the legal field, accountancy, marketing, anything that you think actually you can provide. We can actually start to build that as well as an added extra on top of the podcast. So I really, really hope that that will be something which you'll find really, really interesting. So as I mentioned before, let me just find that previous page. That's everything that you need. Use the QR code or sign up there to make sure you're on the email list. You're going to get a link to the calendar where you can actually book in for those 2 days. You can choose either the Thursday, the 20th, or the 27th. As I said, it's any time between 2 and 7. They'll obviously probably fill up very quickly, so do make sure you get in at a time that's going to suit you for that hour slot. And we're going to record, like I said, around sort of 20-25 minutes, so it gives us a chance to have a conversation, to sort of relax into it. We can explain exactly how it's going to work within that time as well. So as you can see there, we're going to sort of aim to do 5 on each day, and it's going to be at the depot at Wiedenbeck. And as I mentioned, it's going to be there for provided by Emily, thank you so much, at the Cloud Space. So I hope that's everything covered in terms of what we need to get across to you. If you have anything you would like to ask, please do put it in the comments. We'll make sure that we can reply to all of those things. If you're on the email list already, you can just reply and ask anything there, and I'll get back to you as much as I can. As I mentioned at the beginning, please do go and check out the first live video. Click the live tab on in the YouTube there, and that's where all of these are going to live and sit. And this is going to take you on a journey through. We're going to show you what's happening as it's building up, and then we just invite you really just to spread the word. Get involved if you'd like to be a guest. Do listen, subscribe as it's going through, follow those things, spread the word, and then we'll try and give you as much of an amazing experience and opportunity as we possibly can. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. Final details again, just in case you needed to jot them down before I go. And again, I really, really hope and look forward to chatting to you in the very near future.